Alright, shalom, man. All praises be unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rechak Kodash. Double honor unto the elder apostles and the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who rule well, and he taught us his truth. Salutations unto the sincere Akim out there pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Barakatham. And pretty much this is just the early morning meditation. Lord willing, through the Spirit, I can start, get back into doing these, you know, type of shows, man. And pretty much, as you can see in the title, yeah, the banging on the ark stopped, and water filled those lungs, because pretty much, yeah, nobody, I say nobody, those of the non-elect of the nation of Israel don't take this word seriously, man. Okay, the scriptures speak about that. Yeah, we've piped onto you, and ye have not danced. In fact, let's pull that real quick, because there's repercussions for not listening, man. That's basically, the meditation I'm having this early morning. Give me one moment. Right, right. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, Matthew 11 and 17, and it says, "And saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented." Now the scriptures say in the book was written lamentations, mourning, and woe. Okay, lamentations, mourning, and woe, man. So, you got guys like Nero, the prophets of doom and that. Yeah, we'll wear those titles with a sense of pride or godly honor, if you will. Okay, because what's written in the book, lamentations, mourning, and woe. All right, and that would translate to what is called a dirge. A dirge is like a military song, but it's like a sad, slow song. Okay, so that's pretty much the tuning of the song that we're singing. Okay, lamentations, mourning, and woe. All right, and the whole idea of that song is that when you hear it, it ignites the fear of the Lord into you, okay, as it did us, right? And then pretty much, you get on board, man. All right, but the people that don't get on board, they're the ones that when the song is played onto them, they don't dance, man. So it says it here, Matthew 11 and 17, "And saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced." Okay, we have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. And how's that been done? That's been done through the prophets of the Lord preaching this word, man. Okay, so this is the book of Genesis, chapter 7, verse 1, and it says, "And the Lord Yahweh," all right, which, by the way, that is the true and proper name of the Heavenly Father. All right, the Lord has many titles, but one name. Okay, and the true and proper one name of the Father is Yahweh, right, which means he to be. He is present, he exists. Okay, and the name of his son, all right, his begotten son, is Yahweh Shai, right? He the deliverer, he salvation, he deliverer, he is the salvation, right? All right, so this is Genesis 7, yeah, Genesis chapter 7 and 1, and it says, "And the Lord Yahweh said unto Noah, Come thou and all that house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation." Because pretty much the Lord spoke to Noah and said to him that his spirit would not always strive with man. Okay, and pretty much he told Noah to build an ark. Is it of gopher wood? No, so like with shittim wood. Let's clarify that. So this is the book of right. So the Ark of the Covenant was shittim wood, but I think the ark of Noah, the boat, was gopher wood. Let's get that. Yep. So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 6. Clarify that. Right, Genesis 6 and 14, make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without pitch. Okay, so the ark was made of gopher wood, man. All right, that ship, that boat that the Lord instructed Noah to make, man. So this is back in Genesis 7 and 1, and it says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. You know, and Noah was building for 120 years, man. You know, and whilst he was building, you know, he was prophesying. And Noah was prophesying of something that had never happened before. Okay, which was what? Rain. You know, the scriptures speak about it. For a dew went up from the earth, and that's how it was watered, man. You know, the plants and that. But the concept of water falling from the sky, you know, or the springs of the deep bursting through the ground, had never happened before, man. And that's why the people didn't take Noah seriously. They didn't take Noah seriously because he was preaching of a concept that was foreign to them. All right. So we're gonna jump down. I'm gonna jump down. Bear me one moment. So this is the book of Genesis chapter 7, right? And I go to verse 16. And it says, verse 13, in the self-same day entered Noah, and Shem, and Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them into the ark. Okay? They and every beast after his kind, and all the cattle after their kind, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth after his kind, and every fowl after his kind, and every bird after their sort. And they went unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. And they that went in male and female of all flesh, as the Most High Power had commanded him. And the Lord Yahweh shut him in. That's the point. The Lord Yahweh shut them in the ark, man. Because Noah, you know, he would have had compassion on the people and pretty much opened up the door of the ark. You know, but the Lord didn't want that to happen, man. Because the people rebelled, man. And you got to play it out in your mind's eye. Again, Noah was preaching for 120 years, man. You know, you had children that were like 4. You know, they're now 65 with 2 children and a grandchild, you know, and they're mocking, oh, you're still talking about this ark. Oh, yeah, it's just rain. It hasn't happened yet. You're building for no reason. You know, all of that stuff, man. But the day came when the Lord caused the rain to fall upon the earth, man. You know, and the people, they got nervous, man. And wherever they were, they stopped what they were doing and they went to the ark and they started banging on that door, man. All right, banging on the ark. Ah, Baba Kusha, Baba Kusha, Baba Kusha. You know, let us in. All of that stuff, all that mocking and stuff quickly stopped, man. You know, and you can imagine Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives. They're in the ark here, and they can hear the people banging on the ark, man. And as the waters rose, you know, that banging stopped, man. And them lungs filled with water. Okay? And when that banging stops, you know what happened, man. You put 2 and 2 together. You know what happened to those people. They got eliminated by the floods, man. Okay? You know? They got fucking eliminated, bro. Okay? So this is Matthew 11 and chapter 11 verse 17. And say, no, that's, I already read that. Salakia. Matthew 24. Right, Matthew 24 and 37, and it says, but as the days of Noah were, right, and the word Noah in Hebrew is Noach, which means comfort. But as the days of Noach were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. All right, you know, and that's in the scriptures, man. You know, I've said, but the thing that has been done shall be done, and there's no new thing under the sun. Okay. So history repeats itself, man, you know, and we're about to see history repeat itself in a very massive way in terms of judgment and salvation, okay? Because remember, we just read it. The Lord said unto Noah, I have found thee righteous in this generation, okay? And who is Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, gonna find righteous in this generation? The elect. And if you can bear it through the Spirit, the same generation that was on the earth then is the generation now. So it's going to be 2.0, but this time you're not going to drown out by water. You're going to be in that lake of fire, which is America, man. Okay? So it says, Matthew 24:37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, man. Okay? You know, I was in the gym this morning, and I was in the gym from 5:30 this morning, and I was watching a video that Elder Apostle Tahar was premiering at the time, you know, and he went to the chat, right? Chat GPT, and pretty much it was saying that Great Millstone is known for being a camp of prophecy, basically, man. You know, because you got these other groups, you got the likes of IUIC, you know, the ISUPK. ISUPK is like militant and that, you know, macing you out in the face, having you do drills and that. The IUIC, you know, they're all about, you know, the Chat GPT said they're more orderly group. You know, they've got the uniform, you know, and things of that nature, right? And they teach like marriage, and you know, and ain't nothing wrong with the concept of marriage, but we ain't here to be teaching husbands love your wives and marriage and starting up the Israelite family. We ain't gonna get that on this side, man. You know, but Great Millstone known to be a camp for prophecy, man. You know, so as it says, for verse 38, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, man. They were eating and drinking, partying it up, mirthing it up, man. You know, and we don't teach that, man. If brothers get together and have a drink or whatever and eat, that's off camera amongst serious-minded Archeum, you know, that know what time it is and know what the primary cause of our existence is and our gatherings to be, which is to push this word, to do the work. Okay? You know, but we don't push like get-togethers and all of that as a part of the doctrine, you know. Okay? Because you get together, have some drinks and eat some chicken. How's that gonna be edifying onto the knowledge of salvation? You know? Eating and drinking, partying it up, man. You know, that mirth spirit, right? And marrying and giving in marriage, you know? And when you get into that marrying and giving in marriage, it also gets into taking your hand off of the work. All right? I'm not talking about the work of the prophets. I'm talking about work in general, because that's actually in the law. When an Israelite man marries a wife, the honeymoon phase is actually to be up to a year. Okay? 1 year you're not meant to work, and you're just meant to chill out and have fun with your wife, man. All right? So marrying and giving in marriage means you've got, you know, you're just laid back, man. How much more the work of the Lord? Okay? And you not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So, you know, people ain't taking it seriously. Now we're taking it seriously. Abarat Azar, we're of the elect, man. You know, we're taking this seriously, man. You know. So think about it, man. You know, because now we're gonna get beamed up, man. We're gonna get beamed up. You know, the ark isn't gonna be the boat, but it's gonna be the ships, the chariots, man. You know, the chariots, and we believe in the chariots of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, the scriptures speak about that as birds flying, so shall the Lord defend Yerushalayim. Okay, you know, so the Lord Yahweh Shai is coming back in the fathership. You're gonna have the other ships behind him, man. And we believe we're going to be beamed up, man. Okay? We believe in that. Okay? So keep building, brothers. You know, that spiritual ark. Keep building. Keep building, man. Because the day came when the floods came, man. And the day is coming when that fire is going to rain down in the form of missiles, predominantly on the landmass of America, which is Babylon the Great, according to biblical prophecy. All right? And a few other locations, but mainly America, right? And also, the Hawashai coming. If a fire already be kindled, what will I? Scriptures speak about that, man. So I'm going to close it out there. You know, this is just the early morning meditation. You know, so yeah, man. You know, this is it. We almost out of this place, man. So with that, you know, I'll say, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rechak Wadash. Double honor unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who rule well to us as truth. Salutes to you, Arkim Wakwaf, man. Shalom.